Hi guys, this is Said from Wondrous Footsteps and welcome to my new video today. Actually, I had many ideas in mind. I didn't know which one to choose to talk about, and then I thought, why not share with you a path that I have been following for the last 10 years and that got me where I am today. Some people might call it spiritual journey, others might call it spiritual awakening. For me, the name is not really important, but it really was a very amazing journey, let's say, until now. If you see me looking down a bit from time to time, actually, it's just because I have a piece of paper just here on which I wrote some notes so that I don't forget anything, even though I confess that I can hardly read my own handwriting, so I'm gonna do my best. Anyway, so it all started 10 years ago. I was in Paris. I went to the hospital for a few days for some health reasons. And then a friend of mine offered me a book called The Secret. I think many of you now know what The Secret is. It's a book that talks about the law of attraction and the positive mindset and the importance of the positive mindset in our daily lives. So I began reading this book and I began applying it in my life. And this was the first step into my spiritual journey, if you want. Because following this book, I began doing some research about the law of attraction online, on YouTube. I began researching meditation and yoga. And then one day I was watching a series, I think many of you know it, it's called True Blood. It's a series about vampires, about blood, yeah, it's called True Blood, and supernatural creatures. For me, it's so fascinating. But this is not the subject of this video. Actually, in one of the episodes of the series, they talked about an entity called Gaia. So it really intrigued me, and I thought, why not research it? So I went online and I began researching Gaia, and I found out that it is something related to Buddhism. Gaia is like the goddess of nature. And so I bought a book called Dharma Gaia, and I began reading it. And in this book, they talk about the mindset, and they also talk about how we are all just one entity, like humans, planets, animals, the universe, we are all just one. And through this book, I began doing more research online. And one day I found on YouTube a music video, not really a music video, it's something called Chill Step. So basically you have one image and you have a music, calm music for like 1 hour or 2 hours. It's really good for meditation. And inside this music, while listening to this music, you listen to the voice of a man saying some quotes about life. But I didn't know who this man was. While reading the comments, I found out that this guy was a man called Alan Watts. So after researching Alan Watts, I found out that he was a big philosopher. He has lots of lectures about life, about death, about dreams, about meditation, about religions and the creations of life. And for some time, Alan Watts became like a mentor for me, because I was really fascinated by all his lectures. I remember I used to fall asleep just listening to his lectures. So this was a very big step in my spiritual journey. Until one day, when I came to Bordeaux, like a few years later, I found a Buddhism temple here in Bordeaux. So I don't go there really often. I just went there like 3 or 4 times. I don't really go there for the Buddhism, as in Buddhism. I go there because it's a place where people can discuss of all subjects of life. And I'm really fascinated by these groups where every person can say his or her opinion and we can discuss it. And I remember that one day, it was during last summer, I guess, like it was the last meeting before the temple closes for the whole summer. We were sitting in a garden and it was sunset. So there were like 4 people or 5 with one of the masters of Buddhism. And we sat for 2 hours talking about meditation, about dreams, about how the big masters of Buddhism can connect with each other through dreams, about life, about death. It was really amazing. We talked about reincarnation. I'm not saying it is true or it's not true. I'm saying it's nice to discuss and to see many points of view in this world. This is why the world is rich, actually, I think, because of all these points of view. So this was really a night that I would never forget. It was really amazing, all the discussions that we had. And then I felt as if the more I go into this journey, the more I attract people that have the same mindset. Because then I met a guy here in Bordeaux who had researched this subject for like 30 years of his life. And one day we went for dinner and we discussed this subject for like 2 or 3 hours. And I literally kind of teleported to a whole new universe after discussing this subject with him, because he told me lots of other legends, let's say, about creations. He told me about the 12th planet. I'm not sure if any of you have ever heard of it before. It's a theory, actually. For some people, it's a truth. Uh, so it's a theory that there's a planet in our solar system that passes next to Earth once every 3,500 years. And on this planet, there are like aliens, and they are the ones who accelerated the evolution of our species. So there's Ano and his son Enki. And the last time they were on Earth, it is said they were on Earth like 2,500 years ago. So if the theory of this planet is true, they should pass by again in 1,000 years. Anyway, so all these were really steps in my spiritual journey. What I learned is that in my opinion, there isn't one truth. Every person has an idea about creation in mind. Every person has an idea about this universe. And I think that all of us, we are just part of this universe. Not only part of it, as Alan Watts says in his, there's a very nice video, I really encourage you to go see it. It's called The Real You on YouTube. And Alan Watts says, you are it. We are it. It as in the universe, as in life, as in the energy. So we are all just different manifestations of the universe. We are all just one entity discovering itself. And this is why I like to watch series like Star Trek and Star Wars, because whenever we go in search of different civilizations and different species, we are basically discovering ourselves. We are not discovering exterior entities, because we are all part of the universe. We are all the universe. And this is really amazing. For me, all this is a miracle. And miracles, I'm just gonna say one last thing about them. People always think that miracles are some things out of this universe. In my opinion, we only say this because we do not really understand the laws of nature and the laws of this universe. Because we still don't know anything about the universe, we don't know anything about ourselves, we are discovering ourselves. The universe is filled with lots of mysterious things, and I think whenever we answer a new question, another question is gonna pop up. We're never gonna really get to the bottom of it, and this is what's nice about it. It's a journey, in my opinion, and through this 10 years of spiritual journey, I got this different mindset now, different way of looking at life and looking at death. One day I might do a video that talks about my opinion about death and about life, but for now I just wanted to share these small parts of my spiritual journey, because surely there are lots of other things that happened with me during these 10 years, but these were like the most essential ones. And yeah, so I think in coming videos I will elaborate more on the law of attraction, on my idea of death, on my idea of the universe, and on my idea of miracles. But for now, this is everything I'm gonna say in this video, and I tell you to stay safe, stay at home during all this universal crisis, and I will see you next time. Ciao.